Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Modern Manifesting with me, Kimberly Rolls. Why didn't they teach us this in school? Today, I am with my friend, Homer Martinez Castillo. I don't know if I said your name.
No, you did actually. Thank you for saying that.
And Homer is a lot of stuff. Homer, we're not gonna be able to talk about everything in this episode, but I need you. You know him. If you followed me on Facebook, we have traveled many places together on spiritual journeys, and I have just learned so much from Homer, and I want to share him with all of you. Homer, his lineage, he's the holder of the Philippine ancestral shamanic healing. He's the co-director of the Light Activation Healing System. He's an author and artist of an illustrative guide for Light Activation Healing System and founder and proprietor of the Star Emissary Intuitive Arts Center. There's so much stuff here. There's just like a lot of stuff. He, but Homer is here to really just spread the love that he has for God and or source, whatever that word is for you, universe, higher power, to as many people as he can in this lifetime while he's here. And he carries out his mission through his expressions in his art, which you might see some today. He's a dancer, he's musical talents, we'll talk about the
Thank
pyramids.
you so much.
He teaches, he's a
Oh, thank you.
healer. He's got classes that he teaches, healing sessions, and really just brings awareness about the diverse star beings of light. And he is here to also connect you with angels, ascended masters, fairies, which of course we're going to talk about, elementals, spirit guides, star beings, and other beings of light, which is really weird, Homer, because I don't know if you know this, but I actually wrote a chapter in a book in 23 called Divine Healing, Stories of Healing with ascended masters, higher selves, and other beings of light. So it was very like
Oh,
in line
nice.
with what you're doing as well. Because I also work
Yeah.
with like my higher self and the ascended masters. So there
I
we
was
just have,
aware you wrote something, but I wasn't sure what exactly.
yeah. So I had
Yeah.
one chapter in a book, but it was just like my story of like where I kind of like it started when I had my son as a teenager and like I
Mhm.
was never thinking I was going to be like where I am right now because I mean I was still in high school like I mean and it just kind of like went through like from that to like where I am now just in one quick chapter so it didn't touch on anything. But Homer, I met at the first trip that I went, the first spiritual journey I went on with Homer was to Bimini, Bahamas. And Bimini is
Yeah, what year was that? Do you remember?
2015,
Oh,
2015, I think,
wow.
10
So
years
almost
ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's crazy. That was,
Yeah.
yep, 2015. We went to Bimini. And that was kind of like, so I didn't really have my spiritual awakening or know any of this stuff until after my mom died. And I know we have that in common when your mom
Yeah.
passed as well. But
Mm.
when my mom died, that was like, I was like, I want to know everything because, I went to church, I did all the stuff like that. That's what she did. That's what I was taught. But now I'm like, I know there's more. I want to know where she is, what she's doing, what really
Yeah.
happens when you die. Like I just opened up the doors, and then once you open up those doors, that's it. Like then you're just
I
like you're
know.
meeting all these people, and you're going, and it's like holy shit. Within 10 years, I went from taking a yoga class and meditation and trying to figure out and taking my first psychic reading to connect with my mom to where I am now and here talking to you. It's so 10 years it's I mean I know it's
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah. It
yeah.
seems like a month ago,
I know.
but it's short and long at the same time,
But is
right?
there really any such thing as time?
Exactly. It's a human thing.
It's totally a human thing.
Exactly.
So we're gonna talk. I'm gonna come to ground because there is so much stuff that Homer has. And I know that this is only the beginning of the podcast, and I want to kind of slowly, gradually teach people and bring people into this process, this awakening of the spiritual awakening or the fact even to know that you are a co-creator of your own reality and there are other things of this world, in this world, not of this world, not in this world, that people don't even know. I didn't even know until I started going on the retreats with you and our spiritual retreat leader, Cindy, that I may have on at hopefully at some point when we're more further along in the
Yeah.
process of the podcast, because she'll blow minds too.
Yeah, she'll blow your mind away. That's for sure.
She blew my
Yeah.
mind like the first time I actually, so how I met you would through
Uh,
her
yes.
is when she came out with the 40 days manifesting
Yes.
e-course.
Uh,
That was what started this whole thing for me was her 40, and I'm like, man, I can manifest. And I was like literally listening to her every day and following every day what she told me to do. And I did start noticing things, start,
yeah.
manifesting. And I never thought I would get out of the job that I was in there. And I've been through like many jobs and I didn't have a relationship back then. And then I did have a relation, so like
Mhm.
this shit is real, you know?
Oh yeah, being in that energy of flowing and moving, it opens up realities, dimensions, you name
Mhm.
it.
Speaking of, I don't even know
So
where
where
to
do we
begin.
begin?
I know. I'm like, do we talk about the galactics, the fairies, the aliens, the pyramids? Let's actually start with this. I know only because I know you that
Okay.
you sort of, I mean, I don't know, inherited isn't the right word. It's in your genes. Like,
That's a good word. That's a
okay.
good word. Yeah.
So like your dad, and I don't know, I never got to
Mhm.
know your mom or like know
Mhm.
much about your mom, but your mom and dad. So would you
Mhm.
say like you were born into this? Like do you
I was born into it because I come from a family where on my mom's side and on my dad's side, there have been many healers, intuitives, shamans, um, and it goes way back. Many ancestors. I mean,
yeah,
even some of the stories I would hear from my relatives, they would talk about things that had happened with the family, and the stories. It's kind of like
I want to
storytelling.
know.
It still keeps going. And okay, so I'll begin with
Yeah, I think
on my dad's side. So on my dad's side, he comes from a place in the Philippines where it's just farmland and it's very isolated. It's like, you know, out there.
like
I mean, all you see is, well, back then,
grass.
grass, rice fields,
Yeah.
nothing that would distract you. There's no
Yeah.
city lights to worry about. There's
Yeah.
no, traffic jams or neighbors really. So with with his side of the family, they were, yeah, in a remote place. So my ancestors had experiences of being contacted by star people or aliens,
Yeah.
um, um, way back then. I, I
Wow.
can't I can't give you a year, but
No,
like many
because it goes back so
stories,
many generations and
yeah, many generations, and one of um, one of the stories that was passed down was um, not my grandparents' house, but an ancestor that lived across the street. Um, and I say street, but it's really like a
no,
dirt road.
across the land. Across,
Yeah, because we had family within, a certain area. So they were far, but still around, I mean, maybe a mile or two or well, not that, well, something like that.
yeah.
But from what I remember, what I was told about our relatives having a light above their house. I say house, but it's more like a hut. And it was just a light illuminating, from sky to the ground, just kind
Yeah.
of like a pyramid, just like that.
Yeah.
And the whole house, or
Yeah.
hut, you could see the light emanating even from the windows. So we were already being contacted
Wow.
at that time. And yeah. Mhm.
So this stuff is obviously like coming out now. People are finally coming. My uncle is an admiral in the Navy, and I can remember busting him up for
Oh,
years because I'm like, you know, there's UFOs out there. You know, there's he was an admiral,
yeah.
and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I remember staying at his house one
Uh,
night. He lives in Virginia because he
mhm.
worked for the Pentagon. And I remember like breaking into his office in the
They know
night
things.
and like going through his stuff to see if I could find any kind of proof that he wasn't telling us. But now it's kind of
Uh,
like becoming like it's coming out, like they're coming out and admitting, like, yeah,
yeah. Well, I
you know,
used to be a co-organizer for a UFO group, a meetup group. And one of the members, he was in the Navy, and he talked about, and I won't give his name, but in the 70s, how when he was on one of the ships, I think it was around Vietnam, he saw lights in the water, and it always stuck in his head about like what are those things? And then years later, he would join our group to try to get, an
wow,
answer
wow.
uh, to that. Yeah.
You
So
know,
I'm not surprised why with military
yeah, yeah,
personnel that, I'm sure they had experiences.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's so weird that you just said that about the lights in the water. Now, my dad, he was in Vietnam. He was in the
Mhm.
Air Force, though, and he wasn't, like a high-ranked official or anything. He fixed
Mhm.
the airplanes. He was an airplane mechanic. But as a kid, I swear, like, I don't know, like my dad, now, my dad passed away, but
Yeah.
as a kid, we would make fun of him because I wasn't open to any of this stuff. Like we
Mhm.
would make fun. He'd be sitting, I can remember sitting at the kitchen table and he would say, "Oh yeah, there's aliens here. They're living in the ocean." Like he was so
Oh yeah.
specific.
Yeah.
They're in the ocean. And I can remember like for Christmas and stuff, like buying him
Uh,
shirts that say like, "You're just jealous because the voices talk to me." And back then it was like, you know what I mean? But now I'm like, dude, like my dad like knew something. He must have remembered something from somewhere or something happened to I don't know. I
well,
wish like,
even that will also kind of is part of your journey because it's
yeah,
kind of like planting the seed. So you're
yes,
hearing bits and pieces from this one and that
yes,
story and, things in your life. And then now when you look at it, like stand back and look at it, it's like I was already getting
all this time.
messages.
I
Yeah.
wish I believed him so I could have asked more questions, so I
But
would have,
it's part of your journey.
yeah,
You were
right.
where you were
It was
at
the
that
time, right?
time.
It's
Yeah.
timing. It's all divine timing and when it's supposed to happen. And so
Yeah.
that's part of the reason of me doing this podcast too, is like because of where I was and where I am now, I
Mhm.
want people to kind of know, like, and
Mhm.
because the energy is like moving so much faster and where our light bodies are, we're moving into like the
Mhm.
fifth dimension, 5D, and like more people are starting to wake up. Like there's so much shifts, there's so much happening right now. I just
Yeah.
feel like this is what I don't know. I was just really called to
A-
like
And to
start
me, I
waking people
think,
up.
well, we always are presented with things when we are ready to hear it. So like for you, for me, now we're ready to hear it. I mean, back then, um, when I was talking to my grandmother, for example, when I went to my dad's province, she was trying to teach me how to read the palms and everything. And at that time, I was only 19, and
Yeah.
I was like, no, thank you, Grandma. So, I mean, in hindsight, I'm like, oh, why didn't I,
Right? Right?
yeah,
I know that's how I feel.
yeah, because and I'm kind of moving back and forth on the
That's it.
timeline, but I mean, growing up here in America as a teenager, you're trying to fit in.
Yes.
So the last thing you want to do is look
Stand
like
out.
you're weird or act
Yeah.
like you're weird.
Yeah.
So, I was like, okay, Grandma, you could put the palm thing away, like, and some of the relatives were kind of embarrassed, like, oh, well, we're sorry she did that. I'm like, no, it's
Oh.
okay. But now it's like,
I know.
oh,
Now you wish, oh, guy, I wish I learned. I wish I learned. I wish I learned.
yeah. And so on my dad's side, they were, very intuitive relatives. They knew about things and, they could heal. They can, so many things. I don't know. I keep saying, but I'll
I
show you.
don't really know, but I'll
I
ask
know.
you. I'll ask you
Uh,
when you say heal,
uh-huh.
would you say that the healing was like what we know today as like Reiki and like stuff like that kind of healing, or is it was
It,
it with herbs and things like
kind of
that?
both. Yeah, kind of both. And
Or was it something like sent down to them from other beings that they just all of a sudden had
yeah,
this
it's
gift?
like it's kind of like someone, well, someone, but like guiding you on what to do. So now I'll move into my mom's side of the family.
Yeah.
So my grandfather, so my mom's dad, was killed in World War II by the Japanese,
Oh,
only because they knew what he could do.
oh,
So word got out what he could do, and he was doing healings, for people that needed healing. And I think he was a spy too, working for the Allies, but he was doing healings, but he was killed, um, from what I was told, because they knew what he could do with his healings.
which army or whatever was he in? Was he in the Filipino or
Well,
was he?
during that time, it was like early 30s or 40s, and I think the Philippines were still under U.S.
Okay.
Jurisdiction.
Okay.
So
That was US.
the military was kind of with the U.S. military.
Yes.
Yeah. Um,
And they killed
yeah.
him.
They killed him. Yeah. But my mom's mom, she was a very skilled healer, intuitive, and she did some very interesting magical things.
I love it.
So I
I love
remember my mom
magic.
telling me the story that my grandmother had these abilities, so she was able to turn invisible. So one time she was surrounded by these thugs or a gang. They wanted to rob her, but she knew what to do. She turned invisible um, with a leaf. So she grabbed a leaf. I don't know what kind of leaf, but she was able to turn
Find out.
invisible. Well, but
That
now,
would be my superpower. If I could do anything, if I could have a superpower, I would want to be able
uh,
to turn invisible.
well, she was able to turn invisible, and she also had like super strength. So whatever she did too, she scared off all those gang members that were surrounding her. And to this day, they still talk about that.
Wow.
And but now, knowing energy and everything,
Yeah.
she didn't really turn invisible, but she kind of like with there's ways to fluff up your aura
I
and
was just
ways
gonna
to
say,
bring down your aura,
sure.
where when or what's another word for fluff up, like
I know because Cindy uses that word.
expand your aura, I
Sure.
guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
When
yeah.
you expand your aura, you really um can get a
Are
lot
a
of attention.
presence.
People notice you, like,
Yes,
wow,
you're a
you're
presence.
shining bright.
Yes.
But when you bring your aura
Yeah.
close to you
You
and
become
down,
right. You become
you become
invisible.
invisible. So
Yes,
like
I
you
get
could
it.
be on a train, for example, and you could be like, I don't want to be out there at this moment. I want to kind of
Wow.
be in the background and keep my aura close to me. And also because when you have it out, you can have people walking in and out of it. And
Sure. Yeah, that you
so
don't
if
want
you're going to
that
be
putting
taking a
holes in
train
it.
going to work, you may get someone um, that's in a bad mood, and if your aura is
Walk right through
expanded,
you.
it's kind of like a fishing net. You may get some of their stuff. So it's like, okay, do I want my aura out or do I want it in? So depending on where you're
There you
at,
are.
I mean, you could be in the train or in a club or even at Walmart or something.
Yeah, you want to close that
Like you
down.
pick and choose, like
Yeah.
how how expanded you want to be, aura wise, at that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah. I love
So
that.
that's what my grandmother did. She was so it wasn't the leaf
I
itself,
get
but
it.
it was a way for her to like
That's how she
bring
can,
down her aura where
yes.
she was still there. They just
Yeah.
couldn't see
They just
her.
can see her.
Yeah.
Because everything is energy. And that's the other thing. Like people don't understand, like literally everything is energy. Like our
Yeah,
words that we're speaking right now is energy. Like,
and you talked about the heritage. So
yeah.
sometimes it's not a given rule, but sometimes it skips a generation.
Okay.
So like definitely my grandparents on both sides had a stronger knowledge and their abilities, they were
Sure.
using it more.
Sure.
My parents, they do have it, To some extent, but not like what my grandparents had. And then it kind of went to me.
Yes.
So the thing is, in every family, and you know what, it's not just a Philippine thing. It could be whatever
Yeah.
culture. Um, because
It's
you know what, it's like all the native cultures or primal culture. Wait, I don't know if that's the word, but
I know like not
you know
Aboriginal,
the
like indigenous? No.
yeah,
Is
okay,
it
no,
indigenous?
that's a good word.
Yeah,
Yeah. The knowledge is there and it ties all of us together because
sure.
it's deeper than our culture, our countries. It's more like soul level, deep stuff that's beyond, this earthly planet
Yes.
or this planet.
Yes.
So for me, yeah, it skips a generation, but the knowledge and teachings are there for anyone in whatever generation. For me, my generation, I chose to take it on.
Yeah.
So my brother and sister, my siblings,
Yeah.
they grew up with the same magic,
Sure.
but you know, um,
I do.
sometimes they want to be mainstream, or they don't want to kind of acknowledge it as much, even though they see it
They
or they
do. I was
saw
going
it.
to ask you that. Do they have like that
I mean,
sense?
there was one Christmas when my brother needed a healing. Um, and I was like, okay, let me do a quick healing on you. Little did I know that was going to be like something that got so big, got out of hand. My little quick healing, um, it brought him back to a past life when he was a Roman general. And so he was going back and forth. His realities were shifting. So he was leading a battalion.
Yeah.
He was sinking in the mud. And in my reality at that time, he was actually, at the time I had tiles on my counter. He was grabbing those and like really like trying to hang on because he's sinking.
I feel like like when I did ayahuasca.
Oh, he did. I mean,
That's
yeah, the
another story for
reality.
another time.
Yeah, and the realities, it can it can be both from this reality and on to a different timeline or reality.
Wow, yeah.
So I knew what was going on. So
But that was it. That was the timeline that needed to be healed. So whatever he
yeah,
was
and I won't
going
give his
through,
name. I'll just say H.
yeah.
But I was like, H, what is your name? And he was saying Tavius. And I'm like, Tavius, that's not, I'm like, where, okay, who are you and where are you? And he was telling me, I'm, leading the battalion. I'm sinking in the
Wow.
mud. And I'm like, oh crap, I brought him to that little quick healing
Yeah.
kind of this was in 2005. I remember the year. Um, he was like really uh going deep. And I was like, okay, H, come back. Come back. Who are you? And he kept saying Tavius. I'm like, okay, no, come back. I had my other family members in the room too. And my brother was like going around the house grabbing things um and I was like, okay, come on out. Come on out. And it took a while to have him come out. And my sister was in the corner, just kind of staying still, being silent. She could see everything that's going on. And to this day, she won't acknowledge what she saw.
Wow.
Um, so I had his daughter. Um, I was like, so his daughter's name starts with the H too. Um, I was like, little H, tell your daddy that you need to be picked up from school right now and be very, forceful, like really shout to him because he needs to come out of that. So, when she said, Daddy, come back now, you need to pick me up and all that, he finally broke out of that.
From her. How old was
Yeah.
she?
Let's see. She was probably 10.
Was she freaking out?
Well, because she saw a lot of magical stuff that I
Oh,
had done.
okay. 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 All
And
right. I'm
even I
like,
had my mom and dad there at that time too. And my dad was even shouting to him, like,
wow.
come back, come back. Like it took a while. So
Wow.
it was my niece that was able to break. And back then we didn't record anything on phone.
Oh, I
And
know.
so when my brother got out of that, like
He didn't
he
remember?
doesn't know all that happened. He doesn't. I was like, do you remember, like if I were to ask him now, like, do you remember in 2005 on Christmas when he got sick and I did that healing? He would not
No.
the details. No.
Does
Mm-mm.
he remember the name Tavius?
Nope. Nothing. Nothing. But my sister was there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
would you have been able to get him out of that if it was just you and he?
Um, well, that was the first time where I had it took me a while to get
And that
someone
was also
back.
20 years ago, and you're obviously more evolved now and more
Well, I actually I actually did not do anything like that
ever again.
anymore since that. Now, now before that, I went to a party that I was invited to, and by my aunt. I mean, not my real aunt, but and there were a lot of people, and there were younger people, like maybe in their 20s, early 20s, um, and word got out what I could do or what I am, and they said, "Oh, can you do something?" I'm like, "Okay." So this was before light activation healing.
Right.
So I just had them, and it was three of them, and one by one, um, I was taking them into deeper um, states of consciousness or dimension. And I would always begin with like, "What is your name and where
Yeah,
are you now?"
I
And
like that.
I live in Pittsburgh, California. So they would say, "Oh, my name is Angela and I'm in Pittsburgh." I'm like, "Okay, that's a good start." And then I
Yeah,
would take them deep. And
yeah,
then a few minutes later, like, "What is your name?" And they would say, "I don't know." And I'm like, "Where are you?" "I don't know, but I see a lot of light, and I would always ask questions. "So what do you see around you?" And they would say, "Oh,
yeah,
or that Angela would say, there's a being approaching me,
yeah.
like, oh, it's my angel." So it was something like that. And I would have them stay in there for a few minutes, then I would bring them back. And then I
And
would say, "Okay, what is your name?" And when they would tell me Angela, then it's like, "Okay, so you are back."
okay, good.
So
Now,
I was doing that, for some time. So when I was in the Philippines, I was also involved in the exorcism.
what?
Yes. So this was when my grandmother passed away. So I was with my uncles, um, going to the church because they were making arrangements for the funeral, and things like that. And when I was just waiting there in, I don't know what you call it, like a chapel or a room or something,
Mhm, mhm.
there was a nun that frantically walked in there, like trying to, um, well, she needed to talk to the priest.
Yeah,
She said, "Father, I need your help." Um, the kids, because she was teaching like elementary
yeah,
age children,
yeah.
they need your help. They were playing a game called Spirit of the Glass. So
Just that name sounds
I
creepy.
know, and I don't exactly know, what that, and I don't want to know like
No, right, right,
the
right.
rules and stuff with that game.
Yeah,
But if you would think about like a Ouija board, it's kind of
sure.
like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I followed the nun and the priest and my uncles too, and then I saw a room full of maybe 5-year-old, 6-year-old kindergartners. They were crying, they were screaming, and it was pandemonium in that classroom. And I would see the priest and the nun like hold one child, like, and try to snap them out of it, and then the child would kind of collapse, and it would jump to the next child.
Oh my God.
So, and then I was like, I was holding, or I was with one of the children, and the the look, there was so much anger and like toward me, and I was trying to hold. I forgot if it was a boy or girl, but they were strong. They were like, I was like,
Wow.
whoa, and then I would kind of apply the same thing, like, what is your name? Where are you? And the voices I heard coming from those children were not their human voices. So, I've had experiences like that, where
Right.
I'm dealing with something not of this world, but interdimensional.
Yeah. So I think when
Yeah.
people think about like exorcisms, they automatically think it's like the devil, but it's not necessarily a devil. It could be like just a
Y-
dark being or a being
Yeah,
from
dark beings, lower dimension,
lower dimensional being.
with all that is,
Yeah.
or a creator, God.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, I also use the term all that is because
Yes.
it's all that is,
It
right?
sure is.
So it's like, so it's like the highest dimension, but then I would see there's even a lower dimension, and the
Yeah.
lowest dimensions, I mean, there's even a dimension full of hate, so that's the thing when people um, use things like Spirit of the Glass or a Ouija board. Not to say it will happen, but you have the potential of opening something of a dimension. Maybe it's not the highest dimension.
Yeah. No,
Like for
there's
me, I can use a Ouija board. Um, I would know when to do it, how to use it, things like that. But will I use it? No, I don't need to. It is a
yeah,
tool, but I
it's a
don't
tool.
need to.
Yeah.
And like I don't need that.
And like what about like a pendulum?
I used to use a pendulum.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is with anything, if you're gonna you know, I mean because I used to communicate with my angels starting that way, but
Uh-huh.
I would make sure like
But you attune it to
that
that.
my intention is to bring the
Right.
highest light,
Right.
beings of the light to
Right.
come forth, give me the highest form of information
Mm-hmm.
from God's light. So
Yeah.
it's the intention
It's the intention.
and
Totally
not just
understand.
like, oh, I'm gonna
Yeah, I'm just
same
gonna
thing
swing this,
even with
say, show me a yes, show me a no. It's
well,
not just
same thing
picking
if
it
you're
up.
gonna use tarot cards or whatever.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, you could just start doing it.
Hmm.
But for me, I rather open up the highest portal or
Yeah.
highest dimension, being in the highest vibrations first.
Yeah.
So, like, if I were to use a Ouija board, for example,
Yeah.
I would make sure I'm, in the highest vibration I could be
Yes.
in,
Yes.
and I'm gonna be surrounded by the highest vibration, and also make the intention of whatever will come through will be,
For your
of
highest good.
God's light, and
Yeah.
so things like that. So not just opening up something without any, specifics or
That you
um,
don't know, like you have you have no idea what's gonna come through.
yeah, so with anything, it's like really be clear about
Yeah.
your intention and who you're bringing in, because there are some intuitives that's out there in the world that yes, they are getting these readings,
Yeah.
but what dimension are they getting it from?
Exactly. They don't know where they are. Exactly.
So, and there's a difference. Like, you could be getting information from like an ancestor, um, which is a certain vibration.
Yeah.
Or you could be getting a message from the angels or from, a star person or a fairy. There are different vibrations, and
Right.
you will more than likely get different answers
Yes. Yeah. And
to
you want
your
to know what
question.
that feels like so you know who you're dealing with too. Like you want to
Yeah,
know the
like
vibration.
with all that is with God, um, that energy, God's energy, will tell you how, like, like it is or how it is. So it's, with the angels, I don't know. I just lost it.
Maybe you weren't supposed to
I was
say
going through it. Yeah. Yeah.
it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the angels, they will have a different answer.
Sure.
Or maybe not, from all that is. I
Interesting.
mean, maybe, it all depends.
And so, like, you didn't take any classes. This is all intuitively taught, like through your own lineage, your own ancestors,
Well, it's
or
kind of like like let's say I take a woodshop class
Yeah.
and then I'm taking other courses or having other teachers along my journey that would fine tune it.
Yeah.
So I owe a lot to my teachers, human teachers.
Yeah.
And Cindy is one of them.
Yeah.
She helped me fine tune. Because, I spoke about what I was doing, like taking people into different dimensions,
Yeah.
right? That was before I met Cindy. And
Yeah.
now, like,
You know.
um, being with Cindy, like, she helped me over the years, how to fine tune things.
Yeah.
So it's
I
like,
know.
oh, okay.
We got to get Cindy on here. I know. We got to,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. She'll blow your mind away, by
Oh,
the way.
I know. I don't know if the world is ready yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Baby steps.
So that was so growing up, having that knowledge of there's other things beyond you know, the physical world.
Yes.
But see, growing up here in the United States, I thought everyone knew that.
That,
Like I thought everyone could see what I can see.
that's amazing.
But it's like no. And I'm sorry, I keep saying I should
I
delete.
do that too. I do that. So,
Just pinch me if I say okay. But yeah, it's yeah, growing up, had that knowledge, but it wasn't as fine-tuned as when I got older.
right. Like we said before, I don't know if it was before we started the call, but we were saying like you can't go right from kindergarten to grad school. You have to go through all the different grades and learn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
I learned, what my grandmother also taught me, but in spirit, it was after she passed, about
Mm.
how having these abilities, and you may have heard this saying, but and I'm paraphrasing, with these abilities comes responsibility. So
Responsibility.
something along those lines.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I was in high school, I used my abilities in not the highest way
Sure.
or
We were
highest
kids.
form.
Sure.
So like, when you're in I said, but when you're in high school, your emotions are very
And your
different. You
brain's
take
not even
things.
fully developed yet.
Exactly. So in high school, I remember I used my ability on a fellow saxophone player because at the time I thought she stole my solo.
Oh,
She didn't steal my solo. I just didn't practice. And
yeah.
she deserved to get number one chair.
Yeah.
But in my mind at that time, no, she didn't.
Sure.
So
Sure.
during a concert, I was sending her like lower forms of energy, daggers, things like that.
Yeah.
Um, and during that concert, she messed up big time. And I had that look, that smirk, like, ha, 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 ha. But then after that, I was getting like an amnesia.
Wow.
It was like it was being taken away, sort of.
Yes. Yes.
Although it didn't leave, but it was still kind of like,
Sure.
when you just forget,
Yes.
you just don't know
Yes.
your tools anymore.
Yes.
So it wasn't until college when I um, opened or had the veil of amnesia lifted.
Wow.
And the reason why that veil was lifted is because I had met a fellow galactic person just like me.
How?
And she
Because people are
happened,
just drawn to you, like when you have that, like the doors just open in the
well,
right
the difference
people.
was like from that moment in high school to college, like I was a human.
Yeah.
But when you're not in the light, things are just so heavy,
Yeah.
so dark. So I
Yeah.
was a different person back then. If
Yeah.
you saw pictures of me during that time, I did not smile and I didn't want to smile in pictures or anything.
Yeah.
I was always depressed. I was moody,
Wow.
even to a point of like suicide.
Yeah. It's
Um,
interesting that you say that because I feel
uh,
like a lot of spiritual people would get the higher that our vibration is, and
mhm.
and I feel like a lot of us feel like that
Mhm.
or go through that phase because I think the
Yeah.
other people start falling away and we kind of start feeling alone.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I felt was
Yeah.
alone, like no one understood me.
Yeah.
self-worthiness wasn't there. I was in the dark pit, so to
Yes,
speak.
I know.
But I was a student at San Francisco State University. And during my last year of my undergrad courses, um, there was word that went around my department of a crazy teacher, a professor. Like, oh, she was married to the head professor. And every December she would have a Christmas party, and you know, it was the last. I took my last class of that semester, and I was going to her party, but I was the last student to arrive, and I thought, oh no, I'm going to that crazy teacher's house because she would host the parties at her house
Yeah,
because her house was nearby, near the
sure,
campus. It was walking distance.
sure.
So the moment I rang the doorbell and she opened the door, and the look in her eyes were just
Yeah.
like sparkly.
Like you're here.
It was
Like
like,
she knew. There
whoa.
was like a
And like
knowing.
she was looking at my soul and she said,
Yeah.
hello, Homer. It's so nice to see you again. And I thought, okay, crazy teacher looking at
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know how to take it.
Yeah.
But later in the party, like towards the end, she was doing readings on people. So she would have us write notes on index cards,
Sure.
and then one by one, with their names on the back, and one by one, she would read our handwritings just by the tip of the top portion of every sentence.
Wow.
And I thought that's interesting. And when she got to me, she talked about things that I never thought of before, but it clicked.
Yeah.
So she talked about angels, and I kind of learned about angels, from my relatives and things, but
Relative. Sure.
I never really went as deep. And I would only think about them like during Christmas and things like that.
Yeah. Or
Christmas
yeah.
cards,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but she talked about angels and she talked about a Mayan life that I was in. And she had certain details about that life. And on a soul level, it was just like, what? Wow. And I was so fascinated by that.
Did it
And
resonate with you? Like, did it like,
on a very deep level. And later, so I'm moving the timeline now.
sure.
Later, a few months later after that, I became her head teaching assistant.
Wow.
And I was so honored to be her teaching assistant because um, she helped me become a spiritual person.
Sure. Wow.
So she taught me, so she did pass away. And in her eulogy, because I spoke at her eulogy, I said one time, I'll just call her Professor. Professor and I had lunch, and I was so excited. I said, I want to learn all the psychic things that you can teach me. She said, I can do that, but I won't. So I thought, what do you mean you won't? She said, well, the thing is, I want you to become a spiritual person first. I can teach you all the psychic stuff and, how to do
Yeah.
the magical stuff left and right, but I want you to become a spiritual person first, because that will take you further along your journey than if you were to learn all the magical stuff that I can teach you now.
Wow.
So she said it's kind of like taking a trip up a mountain. Like I could take a helicopter and go to the top, but I'll miss the
You
journey
missed the whole,
along.
yeah. Yeah.
And so this was like toward the end of being her teaching assistant. So I was her teaching assistant for maybe 3 years. And she said, this is where we're going to have to part ways. She said, she said for her, it would be hard to lose me because, I was her, in a way, I was her son.
Yeah.
And I was too in a different lifetime. She said, it's so hard for me to, part with you, but I know I have to because you now need to go on your journey. So, um, after being her teaching assistant, I wanted to learn everything.
Yes.
So I went to this
Yes.
psychic and that
Yes.
healer, and I wanted to learn about auras and everything. But then I learned there is a difference now. Yeah, I was spoiled with learning things from my professor.
Yeah.
So going to other psychics, for
It wasn't the
example,
same.
and the reading, something about it just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And it felt like lower in vibration before I even really understood about
I
vibration.
totally know what you mean.
Yeah. So from there, it opened up a new world. And then I was meeting other fellow star people just like me. So then I met um, another star person years later, and she was doing $5 past life readings at the time. And I thought, okay, $5, that's not bad.
Right?
So when I first met her, I had a question that her normal um, people that would go to her, it was something that she was never asked before. And then when I asked her that question, she kind of, paused a bit and like, hmm. Um, she didn't reveal it at that time, but later in years, she told me she had an inkling that I was a galactic person.
Did you know you were
Um, I did know from what
the
I was,
professor?
because my professor was opening up, like, she was helping me lift the veil of amnesia.
Hmm.
And also, my professor said to me, maybe 2 years later, she said, you know what? I knew of you 20 years prior to our first meeting in 1994 when I opened that door. So she worked with the UN, I forgot what it's called, Peace Corps at
Okay.
that time
Yep.
in Zimbabwe. And um, she can she was able to speak to angels and galactic people. And they told her, 20 years later, you will meet a young man and you will guide him and you
Wow.
will, do this and do that. And so she told me that. I'm like, and when she told me that, I was like, wow.
And did you learn how to speak to angels and such from her, or did that come later?
Well,
Or were
and
you
that's the thing
already?
with the teachers that were coming next, it was like more fine tunement
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with
Yeah.
the second star person I met, um, later on when I told her about the triangle around my neck, she said, because I asked her, what do you think that is? Because there's a triangle of gold, and I will put a picture, a drawing that I made.
Yeah.
Um, um,
And you
let's
make
see.
these, right? You make
Yeah,
these.
it was kind of like a diary for me. So
Yeah.
everything I learned, I would make a sketch,
Hmm.
and then, okay, here it is. So I would make a sketch, and I would draw it later, when I'm ready for a
Yeah.
drawing.
Yeah.
And so I was seeing this triangle gold of light, like a collar. And so the second person that I mentioned, um, this was one of the things I brought up. And she knew that, um, like, okay, he is one of us. And
Wow.
she asked me questions, and I was able to answer them um, as a star person would. And not just any star person, but a certain type of
Yeah.
star person would.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and everything, like the symbols you see has a
Yep.
meaning
Yep.
and all of that.
Yep.
And this and what you see behind me is just my
Wait, right now I see the planet behind you. Like I see the red and yellow around you, but the picture went away.
oh, okay. Do you see it?
Nope.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Okay.
Like I
Uh-oh.
see you. Now I see the
Oh, you
planet.
do. Oh,
Like
maybe
it's
I.
like this red and yellow. It's really weird. It's like almost like an
Oh, I
aura
see. Because I
around your
put auto
body.
frame. Does that help?
Oh, okay.
I think I pushed the wrong button. Okay. Do you see it now?
No.
Oh, you don't?
No, like I see
Oh,
red and yellow around your body like an aura. Like it's
yeah.
red, white, and yellow and it's sparkling all around you, but there's not the picture. The planet is still behind you.
Oh, that's too bad. Let's
I
see.
know, but it is kind of cool watching the aura
Let me
thingy
see.
around you.
Let's see. Because it always worked in the webinars.
It was
Let me.
working earlier.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, no, like before we started recording.
Oh, so you
Maybe you're
don't see
not supposed
anything
to,
now, right?
maybe you're not supposed to show it. I don't know. But we saw it for a minute.
Maybe.
It did pop up for a
And
minute.
I
I
could
saw it.
always show you one-on-one later.
I know, I
But
know, I
that's too
know.
bad it's not showing up. But yeah, okay. Too bad you can't see it. But
Yeah,
um that could come later, I guess. I don't know what happened because usually in other webinars it shows up.
this is
But so
interesting.
right now you just see the planet, right?
I see the planet, but I still see the red, and yeah, I see like so picture like around like
Mhm.
the around my body like this.
Yeah.
I see red, yellow, and white
Uh
going around you like this.
that could be my aura or that could be a Zoom thing.
It could be Zoom for
Yeah, it
sure.
could be.
Or it could be that you're not supposed to show it to, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true because that usually that's, easy. But
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a Zoom
so
thing.
so going back to my
Mercury's in
journey.
retrograde,
Oh yeah, right.
right?
So going back to my journey, the second person that was on my journey lifting the amnesia, she really helped me a lot, about and also along the same lines of being a spiritual person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there have been others, but I would just keep it to the main three because they are the main three that has been in my life with more deeper and profound um, um, experiences and being on that journey with them. So the third person, of course,
Mm-hmm.
would be Cindy.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a better way of telling this because she tells it a whole lot better. But I think she was having like a play group because she does like back then she did like on Friday nights like a healing night, a mediumship night,
I know. I
aura
wish
night.
I knew her. Was she
It
in
was so much
California then?
fun. What was that?
Was she in California then? Is that how
Yeah,
you met
back
her?
then.
Oh,
And we actually met before that evening because one time I was waiting, and also because now this is kind of off topic, but I won like the grand prize in a raffle um, at the psychic center,
cool.
and I only spent like $2, um, and everyone else spent like $30
Of
and
course.
all of that right
Of
to try
course.
to get the grand prize, and
Of course.
um, the grand prize was you get to experience a session with every single practitioner.
Wow.
So I had Reiki, I had massage, I had ear candling, um, the thing with the eyes, I don't know, meditation, so everything. Um, so I think yeah, I was upstairs because they had two floors, and I was upstairs with my mom at the time,
Yeah.
waiting for a healing session with another practitioner.
Yeah.
And then in comes Cindy walking in. And my practitioner was late.
Yeah.
So Cindy walked in and she was so nice,
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, hello." And she said, "Are you Filipino?" And I'm like, "I think I am." I said, "No, I am." And then
I'm
she was
everything.
yeah, and she was saying she's the same, she's Filipino as well, and she welcomed my mom and I to the center, and she was so friendly. And then that was it, and then I think weeks later was when I attended her mediumship class.
Wow.
And then in her mediumship class, it was a room full of strangers sitting in a circle. And she had us, I think, write names of n people that were coming to us, in spirit, like deceased loved ones.
Sure.
But for me, it wasn't deceased loved ones, it was star people
Wow.
that were coming in. So when it was time to share the list of names we were getting. So like one by one, we were going around the circle. People were coming up with names like David,
Yeah.
Susie, Angela, Jackie. And then when it came to me, I was like, okay, Tolanke Vidash, Unga Glasada Flu, um, Damaro Fenderi. And I was just reading the names like it was no big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
The Basta Fila Kanomas. And I would look around. And so usually you would say a name, and if someone else got that name, they would raise their hand. So I would just um,
Anybody?
say my name,
Anybody? Yeah,
say the name, and
no.
then I would look up, and then I would kind of like, that's weird. No one's raising their hand.
Yeah.
And then, it was so hilarious because Cindy would just start laughing like, "Oh my God, who is
I
this
can picture
guy?"
her doing that too.
Because it was like no one ever heard these names before. Like it
The
was,
picture's up.
oh, okay, you see it?
Yeah. That's
And
so weird. I'm sorry.
with my list of names, just so I could blend in a bit, I went to a regular name like Joe. Like,
Yeah.
I would say, okay, Unga Glissada Flu, and the Basta Fila Conalmas, and then I would end with and Joe. Just to kind of blend in, and then I would just sit back like everyone else. But
Yeah.
then Cindy started to laugh, and everyone started to laugh. But
Yeah.
they weren't laughing at me. It was more
No.
like laughing at the situation. Like,
Yeah.
who is this guy?
Yeah.
And afterwards, Cindy approached me like she said, "Are you a star person?" And that was the first time I've ever heard that term. I've
I was
never
gonna
heard
ask you that.
I've never heard the term star person. I'm like, star person? Um, if she had said, "Are you a Shatwa Ilantari?" I would have been, yeah, I am.
You knew
But
that.
yeah, so I thought star person. So I thought in my head, okay, so this must be the term that is used for, galactic people.
Hmm.
So I started to use that name, star
Hmm.
person.
Hmm.
Kind of like the term past life.
Okay.
People use the term
Yeah.
past lives, even though it's not really the past future,
Right. Those
it's
are all
parallel
happening at
lives.
the same time.
But
Yeah.
like I will say past life because people are more
Understand it.
familiar with it. Yeah. So it's kind of like that. So with Cindy and my teachers, they fine-tuned my abilities. And then with Cindy, I joined her in teaching classes and going on trips. And just by going on trips and teaching classes, it opened me up even more.
Yeah, I bet. Me too. Just the few that I've been on with you guys.
Yeah, and all my drawings, and so you see my drawings, right?
Yes.
Or my drawing.
Yes.
So this is only a symbolic way of illustrating pulsating light.
Wow.
So with angels and everything, like how would you draw something like this, right?
True.
So for me, I have trouble drawing people, so I drew them like a silhouette.
Sure.
And one of my inspirations was this guy named Andy Lakey. He is a angel artist. He was well known in the 1990s, and he would draw them similar to this, but I would put my own spin on it. But his depiction is to convey energy. So this is how I started to draw my angels. So I will show you if I have it, my very first angel that I drew. So it kind of shows the difference of where I was spiritually, if I
Sure.
can find it. Let me see. I know I have it somewhere. And if I don't, sorry.
How long does it take you? Like, look how intricate the inside of the body. Like, how long does it take you to draw that?
It depends on the drawing. And it depends, like for this one, it took me a while. And this has been through so many incarnations because when I first started, I would draw it on paper and I would use Sharpie pens. And back then in the early 90s, they only had
Yeah.
five major colors,
Yeah. Yeah.
green, red,
Red,
yellow, orange,
black. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
all
Yeah.
of that. So back then I was only restricted to certain colors. And so my people were actually green, but because I had another picture with green being, I decided to draw my people red. And I will put a different drawing up, and
Okay.
maybe hopefully you'll see that one
Okay.
of my people
How
of
did
the
you
shot drawing.
know? What, so like did they come to you? Did you just see them in a vision? Like did you physically like see them with your like in your room or
Yeah,
did you
so
go to see
everything
them?
so everything when it began, let's see, I'm trying to find my drawing with my star people. Just when you
I,
want to see it.
I know you had them before. I saw them before.
Yeah, where are they? See, I put so many different
That's
colors.
really cool.
Yeah, so I would see them. Okay, well, I'll start with one example. Like
Okay.
even way back then, my professor would and this was when the amnesia was lifting. She would mention something, and I thought, "Wow, that's fascinating." And then right away, I would go onto my notebook and just like make a quick sketch. Really quick.
Oh, okay.
You see that? Do you
Yeah.
see this drawing?
Yeah.
So I would make a quick sketch, and back then I would draw it with Sharpie pens and on paper. And then okay, I'm gonna move the timeline. So I took a Photoshop class a few years ago, and once I learned how to draw on Photoshop, well, okay, so I would make a drawing or a sketch, make it really nice, black and white. Then I would scan it into my computer, and then I would use Photoshop to color it and add, other things, which
Hmm.
I couldn't do when I was drawing it with just a Sharpie pen.
Sure.
So it took me years before I would really finalize it into a Photoshop drawing where it's in my computer now. Before I would have, and Cindy would probably talk about this too, because I used to bring like a big binder of all my drawings, and I would have people wear latex gloves or or mittens when they were turning the page.
Like it's an antique.
And it was so thick. And
Yeah,
yeah, but with drawings they fade over time and
sure.
stuff like that.
And they can
But
smudge and yeah.
yeah, and I would laminate it just to kind of preserve it a bit. But with
Okay.
Photoshop, it's on computer and I could
Sure.
share it,
Sure.
things like that. So it depends on what it is. So these are my Shatwa people. And we are from Sirius,
Okay.
the star system Sirius.
So I also have a star. I guess I was from Sirius B, and I
Okay.
have a star being from Sirius B that has gifts that I am
Yes.
supposed to use in this lifetime. And I don't
Mhm.
know if I've been given them all yet or not. I feel like I haven't because I don't really feel like I have anything like
Mhm.
special. But yeah, I was told Sirius B.
And whether it's on this show or a future
I was
show,
gonna say, I know these
I
people are probably like,
even
what
I
are they
even
talking
drew
about?
like I drew a diagram of the Sirius star system of
Really?
A, B, C, and even D. And it's like, okay, the star systems, the Sirius stars, but what about the planets that rotate around, what's the word? Ro Orbit
Orbit, yeah.
around the so I drew a sketch of it, when it came to me, of the Sirius star system or the neighborhood.
Wow.
And so it's like, oh, interesting. And even with the my Photoshop drawings, I would categorize, you know, different even animals like, oh, a rabbit. Okay, that goes in the Sirius folder and the Orion folder and the Andromeda folder. So I would realize like, oh yeah, or remember that, oh yeah, there are rabbits here, there, and there, looking like the same rabbit.
Oh,
Yeah.
but
But
not,
then, but then again, there are other rabbits.
I was gonna say, not like our rabbits.
There are. I mean, there are,
This is deep. I know.
and
We're
this
gonna go,
gets
we can't go
deeper. I
deep.
know. I mean, there are rabbit, similar rabbit
Sure.
creatures, and
Sure.
then there are the humanoid rabbit creatures.
Yeah, that might scare
And then
me.
there are other things that can maybe they would call themselves rabbit, and I'm just using rabbit for
Sure.
example. But in our human eyes, we would think that's not a
Not
rabbit
a
to
rabbit.
me. That
Yeah.
looks like a, a light that's oval. Like, how
Oh,
is that a rabbit?
wow. Yeah.
So, do you see this drawing
Yes.
behind? So
Yes.
it's green, right?
Yes.
So my people are really green, energetically, but I draw them red, like what you saw
Mm-hmm.
in the previous drawing.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually met one of these beings when I was in Hawaii
Okay.
with
Okay.
Cindy, and we were staying at like a Airbnb, and I was on the bottom floor, and my room. I mean, we were very close to like the beach or like a cove. And I remember there was a visitation that I had that was one of these beings, and it came to me and energetically, like I'm seeing things in my third eye, like I'm
Sure.
seeing it.
Sure.
So not physically, but third eye,
No, I
but
know what you
very, very clear.
mean.
And I thought, "Ooh, who are you?" And it was green, just like what you're seeing. And its name that I was given was Tamarak. I was like, "Oh," and he said, "Hello, cousin." My cousin.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And I said, "Oh, are you a Shatwa?" He said, "No, I'm a Peskin Verlu." I'm like, "But we're cousins?" He said, "In a way. I mean, we're all related, right?"
sure.
But he said, "Well, I'm my people. We're from the Orion star system. So if you were to look at like a star chart, you may
Sure.
see Orion and Sirius kind of in the same proximity. So we're cousins in a way.
I gotcha.
But we're also like, if I am one of this, I am also one of that, just like you are. So we're all connected, we're all related.
Mm-hmm.
So the Peskin Verlu,
Wow. Did you
yeah.
know that name before
Mm-mm.
you were visited? No.
No, because I didn't even know
That you
anything
were,
about that. So
right.
every time, well, it's kind of like a diary. You add things as you go
Yeah.
along your journey.
Yeah.
So it may be things that your soul remembers, like, oh, okay. Or maybe some things that you totally forgot. Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
That's so
And then I
great.
would sometimes if I don't have a name, and they would always, my guides would always joke around like, oh, that's a human thing. I'm like, I know. I just want to put a name,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
because it's really energy.
Yeah.
But I'm in a human body, and I love having names because, like, what would I call this drawing if I didn't know its name?
Right.
So, in a way, it's more like it's for illustrative purposes that I want a name, even though I don't need a name because it's
Yeah.
energy. So sometimes they will come up with names that I can use. I mean, like a race, and let's see. I can give you an example. Okay. Can you see this one?
Yeah.
So this is a fairy race.
Okay. Now you're talking my language.
Okay. So, we think of fairies
I know.
as Tinkerbell, right?
Yeah.
Or
No, I
looking
know.
like that. And they do. There are some that do look like that.
Sure.
And
But
there
they're
are
little
names for them.
tricksters, right? The
Yeah,
fairies.
and for me, I was given a general name for the Fidi race or races. Or no, wait. Well, I used the term Fidi, Fidi, Fidi.
Okay.
And I'm spelling it phonetically.
Sure.
So that just means fairies.
Edie.
Yeah. So Fidi. So what you're seeing in this drawing is just one of the Fidi.
Cool.
And so again, I have to watch when I ask different races, like, what is your name? Because sometimes that can be rude. It's kind
To
of
ask
like,
them their name would be rude or not
well,
to.
it depends who I'm asking. Because it's kind of like when you meet someone and they're like, "Oh, what is your race or what is your
Oh,
ethnicity?" or something
oh,
like that.
oh, I got you. I got you.
Like
That makes sense.
some
Sure.
people it's okay to answer, and sometimes
Sure.
other people are sensitive
Sure.
about it. Me, I don't, but So with this one, with the beings you see behind me or the drawing, they were sensitive about that. So it's like, and that's the thing. I really have to bring in diplomacy when I'm meeting these beings because not everyone, when I ask them their name, oh, what is your race name? Some of them are okay with it, and some will say, we will give it to you, but do not share it.
Okay.
And then some will give me a name that, okay, you could use this name. So
But
whether
it's
that's
not
their
really
true
the real
name,
name.
yeah, so the name I was given with these beings, so I could describe them if you want.
Yeah,
Okay, so and again, what you see are these little wh- it's depicting energy, so pulsating.
sure,
And again, I drew the silhouette, you
sure.
know. Um, so they are brown in color. And for the males, one of their prominent features are their wide shoulders. So they look like linebackers, football
Wow.
players. So that's why I drew them like that.
Wow.
So think of
Okay.
a linebacker, but
Yeah.
with wings, but these wings are like small,
Yeah.
like smaller in proportion to their size.
I
So
was
if
gonna
you
say,
think of a
how big are
football,
they? What's their size?
okay, 10 inches.
Okay.
So if you were to think of a football player with these small wings,
Yeah,
like
that would be
how do
weird.
they fly? But you
Yeah,
know what? They don't fly. They just have wings. So that's the thing. You may see wings, but it may just be like, like for us, hair.
sure.
It's like an appendage. It's like
Wow.
part
Right,
of our
it's just a
body.
part of their body. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. It's
So
a body part.
and yeah, they're very protective over their female counterparts. So it's like I really had to be careful of how I'm going to talk to them. So when I said, "Oh, so what's your name?"
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
was really like,
yeah.
um, they're like, "We're not going to give you our name, but you could use the word Kuala Rai Nahash." I'm like,
How do you remember all these names?
well, it's also because I would write, like if you were to have a dream
Yeah, I
and
got
you
you.
would get it at that given moment, but at the moment you would write it down
Exactly.
because you know you're gonna forget
You know I
when you wake
journal.
up. Oh, you do? Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But see, because we forget, like you're gonna forget, right?
Yeah.
So when I got that name, I wrote it down and
Yep.
I spelled it phonetically, drew a quick sketch, and then I know later in the future I will make this a better drawing, which I did with Sharpie pen and then later on with Photoshop.
Sure. Now, like, how did you find them?
Yeah, so astral traveling, I love astral traveling.
Okay.
So for me, I love it when I'm flying because it feels so natural. So in many
Okay.
of my dreams, it's so natural for me just to levitate.
Wow.
Sometimes I would have dreams where I'm in my city just going around my business. But then all of a sudden, hey, I could levitate. And I'm like levitating and I'm above my highway and people are saying, look, that guy's levitating. But it feels so natural to me.
But see, you're of the light. You're a good human. When you
And I
go,
do know when there is like a, like a,
because I've had
like when,
negative astral travelers like backpack and come to, you know what I mean? Like scary stuff happen at night. I don't want to like do this in the, like,
well,
I don't
that's
want
the
to get
thing.
into this
It's
in the
like,
podcast, but
it's kind of like, well, what neighborhood are you going into? It's kind of like if
I'm
you're
not the
going,
astral traveler. Like I've had someone come to me in my sleep, an astral traveler.
oh yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
like they're just
people,
out playing, you know what I mean? They're playing around, and
yeah,
you
that
don't
happens.
know.
That happens.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
and I had to have it removed. Like it was a scary thing. So,
it can be.
but
And
you're,
I do know when I'm about to make a significant trip. I mean, not on this earth, but like an astral trip.
yeah, yeah.
So and
And
I
not
can only
everybody's good like you. That's what I'm saying, though. You're of the light. There are people that just do this for fun, just to like screw around with people, like just
well,
to,
sometimes I don't know when it's going to happen. And usually sometimes I have my more profound dreams in the afternoon. So I love taking naps sometimes
Yeah,
in the
I know
afternoon.
you do.
I know you see me on trips, right? But like my consciousness starts to move like this, boom, boom, boom. And it's kind
Okay.
of like a drum, boom, 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 boom. Or if you were on a rainy day, you hear rain
Yeah, I
hitting.
love that. Yeah. Or
So
like shamanic drumming.
yeah, so my consciousness, so it's like regular dreaming, like when I know, okay, I'm just gonna have a go to sleep, have a regular dream, and I would have my regular dreams and stuff. But when I'm closing my eyes and this starts to move, like it's kind of like your screen, if it starts to move like this,
Sure.
and then I'm hearing the drum, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, oop, here I go. I'm gonna be going on the trip,
So you don't
and then
intentionally do it, it just happens. You don't
it just
know.
happens, and yeah, it's a normal thing. And sometimes I'm like, and I'm sure there are ways and it'll come to me eventually, but like I want to control it where it's like, hey, I want to go here. And it does happen sometimes when I really put my energy in it. Like I really want to go to the library, I want to do this, I want to do that. But
Hmm.
sometimes I just allow it just to happen.
Hmm.
And then when it does happen, I go on trips and I go to different dimensions, go to different worlds. I remember going. Well, okay. And I did mention I used to be a UFO co-organizer for a group.
Yes. I don't know if
There
you
were,
mentioned it during the podcast or when we were chatting before.
oh, maybe both, I guess.
Okay.
But anyway, there was one member in that group, a different member, not the military person,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so you did talk
but
about
a
yes.
different person.
Yes.
Um and he had his own experience and he would talk about his planet. And I thought, oh, okay, I've never heard that planet before. And so it was one evening I thought, oh, let me take a trip to his planet. And so I did. I went to his planet and I thought, oh, okay. So I was seeing different things. Like I was seeing the layout of the planet. I saw a deer-like creature that was roaming around the fields. And then I saw his people, the Rokat. Oh, I should delete that. And they're kind of like I not primitive, but more like not grungy, but like you know,
Like
uh,
cavemen, like type,
oh,
like
okay, kind of along those lines,
yeah.
like kind of like that. I thought, okay, so I took a quick astral trip to his planet.
Hmm.
Yeah. So other planets I would visit too. And let's see if I have another drawing. And because we talked about fairies, right?
Yeah.
And oh, so and this is kind of on a side note. Sometimes the movies that I watch, I'm like really blown away because I'm like, I've seen that out there.
So I was
So
gonna
like the
say
Harry Potter movies, the Star
yes, I
Wars
was gonna say
movies,
that to you
Lord of the
earlier.
Rings,
Like
Narnia.
I wonder if she like how did she come up with that concept of Harry Potter? Like makes you wonder if like some of these like writers and
Oh
like
yeah, they totally
there's
tapped into things because
totally
I
like
mean
even
even
like
well the Star Wars movie, right?
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
So ahead of their time.
there was one scene where I saw an aquatic being and I said, that looks like the Maru Fenderi. I'm like, oh my God. Or
Yeah.
like in Harry Potter, and I'm trying to find my drawings, but it was in one of the movies, maybe the fourth or fifth movie, where these small little, they call them not fairies, but um, uh, pixies, I think, in the movie.
Right.
But I'm thinking, that doesn't look like a pixie to me. That looks like the Vista Sadhu.
Because probably J.K. Rowling wouldn't have, I mean, we wouldn't know that. Maybe she wouldn't have
Well,
sold
for
the
me,
books and the movies.
I would have that kind of like jolt in the soul, like,
Yeah,
okay,
like
it's
that's not
more than
right.
just a movie,
Like you're
you know.
exploiting them.
No, it's more like a recognition,
Oh,
like
okay.
a
Okay.
remembrance, like,
Yeah.
okay, that's not just,
Yeah.
pure coincidence. That's
Yeah.
she tapped into
She
that, or even
totally,
George Lucas did,
a lot of
or
them. I
Steven
mean,
Spielberg,
and
things like that.
I don't know, I was going to say this to you earlier, but there's a show on, it used to be on the Hallmark Channel, but now it's on like Netflix or something called The Way Home. And it's
Oh, I've
about
seen
time
that, and I think,
traveling.
yeah.
Have you seen that? And so like they jump in the water and it takes them
Mhm.
into the past. And you were talking about something earlier,
I
and
think I've seen like maybe one show, but then I never followed through.
it's
And they're
amazing. If
on
you
their
go back,
second
there's like
season.
3 seasons. It's amazing, and I'm addicted. Like I'm waiting for the next season. Like
Yeah.
there's so many people on this earth right now that are like you, like people that are evolved and know, but like they
But see,
can't
I
like
just see
come
myself
out.
as a regular person.
I know, and these people are just so you could be
Uh,
like an author or a movie and use that and use what you know and make money by selling a movie just by what you know is your truth. And that's what they're doing, but they're not coming out and saying, I'm a star being. They're just
well, you know what?
creating movies and books about it.
Well, so do you see this picture, the
Yes.
drawing?
Yes.
So there's a reason why I put this because it's kind of with what you were saying. Um, like, and I will take this down immediately, but this is like when I met these beings, um, again, like the fairy beings previously, they were very protective. I won't mention their name, but when people think about life forms out there, they're only thinking about the physical. Yes, there are physical life races,
Hmm.
beings, but there are also the energetic ones. Um, that's not on a planet, but like a dimension. So with these beings are more like dimensional beings. And what's very beautiful about, I hope it's okay. Um,
You could say whatever you can't say, don't worry about it.
okay. Um, okay. Okay, I'll keep it basic sort of. So their dimension is just all beings of flight.
Wow, that's so pretty.
So whatever avian race or whatever beings that fly, um, like the Quetzalcoatl, which is a legendary being of the Mayan
Oh,
world, uh, it's kind of like avian or a bird and reptile mixed in. And I
interesting.
do have a drawing of that, which I can post too. But in this dimension, it's all, and also this dimension is all female or female energy,
You could tell, I could tell by your drawing.
which is why I wanted this softer to
Yeah,
convey
it
it
is.
without even saying it.
It is. Yeah, I can see the
So,
difference.
and I drew this, and again, this is my symbolic way of energy. Because how do you draw
No,
energy?
I know, but you did a good job. I picked up on it.
Oh, thank you. And
Yeah.
this is just conveying the different, whatever bird you could imagine, whatever dragon, whatever fairy, whatever uh, other type of beings that can fly. I put this in here, but it was a softer energy.
It's beautiful.
And I will put something, and you probably saw this in the webinar because I posted it. And before I put the picture up, it's found in one of the Harry Potter movies.
Really?
Not the Harry Potter movies, but more like what are the not the prequels, the
Oh yeah. Um,
Gryffindor, no, not
no,
Gryffindor.
he was in Harry Potter.
But you know the one
Yeah,
um
I know what you're saying.
yeah, because it was Scamander, that
I can't think of.
character.
Yeah, I'm trying to
But
think of.
those
I
a
can't.
movie.
It's like I can't think of it. You know when you're trying to think.
Grindelwald or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Fantastic Beasts,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So when I first saw that movie, again, I was blown away because they were so spot on with some of the beings that I drew.
Wow. Yeah. See.
So now I'm not the best drawer, but I will look on the internet just to, look for a drawing there. And I'm like, okay. And I'm not trying to plagiarize or anything. I'm
No,
just
but
like
get an
making a
idea, a
sketch just
concept.
for my
Yeah.
diary's sake, for
Sure.
my journal. So
Sure.
I drew this.
Wow.
And do you remember? And so Zoom is kind of cutting it off, but this was in that movie.
Yes.
So when I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, they got it spot on. Because it's kind of like reptile, dragon, but also bird.
Wow.
And I'm like, so I have a name for them. It's called the Fuer Tikal. And just that name alone, Tikal, I'm like, okay. So there's a city in Guatemala with the name Tikal,
Really?
Tikal, Guatemala. And in that area, it is the Mayan area, the Mayan world.
It's all connected.
And and this is what the Fuer Tikal are, the
Wow.
Quetzalcoatl, or known in the Mayan world as a Quetzalcoatl.
Wow.
But they are also kind of related to the dragons. So the dragons, we know them as the Rapalsh. Rapalsh. Oh, see, I just got tongue-tied. Oops. Okay.
Well, that's okay.
But yeah, so there's like a kind of like a blending of many different things.
Yeah,
And yeah, there are
that's
other things in that
cool.
movie that is so spot on, like
Yeah,
wow.
it's undeniable. Like,
But I know them as different names. Oh,
sure.
and here's a drawing, and I probably showed it to you. Um, this is one of my guides, and his name is Avery.
I like it.
And Avery is known for his sparkling eyes. So when I saw my professor, for example, it was kind of like that, the
Yeah,
sparkly
like you
blue
said
eyes.
earlier, that knowing that the eyes were like sparkly, like, hey, it's
And I
you.
do know when Avery is around because he has a voice that is like a booming voice. Kind of like who's that? He was the voice for Star Darth Vader. Um,
George Lucas, I not he made the movie. Oh God, what's his name?
you know who I'm talking about,
Yes,
right?
big black man.
Big, yeah. His voice alone is like, and
Very
he was the voice for
recognizable. He does
Mufasa.
commercials.
Yeah, and he was
Yeah.
Mufasa, right? So
Yes.
you know who I'm talking about.
Yes. Yes.
So I mean, Avery is kind of like that, or you know that with that boom, this is
Like a
CNN,
stern. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
this is CNN, you know,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of like
Yeah.
that. And so Avery, and he has a twin. So what I notice in a lot of the angels, they come in, and I'm sorry, I'm jumping to angel to like, I'm
No, that's
jumping
all right.
around. So a lot of the angels that I've come across, they would have a twin, and
Cool.
Avery. So this is Avera.
Wow.
So Avery and Avera, and yeah, a lot of them have twins.
That's a lot of light.
So I was meeting a lot of angels too along my journey,
Yeah.
and I will show you
You
when
found
I
the
can
angels?
find it. Oh yeah, the healers.
Oh,
I don't know if you could. Oh, you can't see them.
I can. Yep.
Can you? So
Yep.
there's a blue one and a green
And a
one.
green. Yeah.
So early in my journey, I met these two, uh, and this was even before I met Cindy, before I
Hmm.
did light activation. And they would come around, and they are twins. And when they introduced themselves to me, they said, "What? My name is Vawa. I am blue." And then the green one said, "My name is Shawa. I am green."
Wow.
And Vawa said, "Think of the blue that you would see in a stream."
Oh, okay.
So if you were out in nature and you look at a stream and you see
Yeah.
the blue, that
Yeah.
is what my blue looks like. And
Okay.
same thing with Shawa. When you look at the stream and you see the green, that is my green.
That's like, remember the stream that we went to in Sedona when we put the paint on us?
Yeah.
That's what that reminded me of. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
So, um, yeah, they would. So before light activation, they were with me. So when I learned light activation, they show up too as well. So when I talk about my healing team, of course, Vawa and Shawa are some of them.
Helping, assisting. Can
Yeah.
you tell people what exactly light activation healing is? Like what it involves?
Okay, so you mentioned Reiki
Yeah,
previously. So
yeah,
light activation is different. So with, and I'm trying not to compare the two, but
yep.
I will kind of just to
Just so
give.
people have, yeah.
So with the Reiki, I do know it uses the energy,
Mm-hmm.
and light activation does too.
Mm-hmm.
But light activation, we use frequency. So frequency is energy, but more fine-tuned and more laser-like. So with light activation, we go deeper.
Yeah,
And with light activation, we're able to go into a person's energy, and we could see on deeper levels, like where work can be done.
yes.
So we're able to see, like, okay, so I'll give an example. Yeah, okay, I'll make up something. Like, let's say my shoulder is hurting. Okay, so with a light activation practitioner, they are taught how to see things in the aura on a deeper level. Like, okay, we see the physical area where it's hurting. Let's look deeper and see on the emotional level, on the mental level, on the spiritual level, etheric level. Um, and so forth, and see where that, it's kind of like connecting the dot, follow the
Yeah.
trail, where that pain is emanating from. And sometimes it will lead us to a past life, or on a genetic DNA, connection,
Yeah.
like in a family line, like, okay, it's because of their ancestor and
Yeah.
they had done something there, and it's showing up in this life or in their genetics. I mean, there's so many aspects to it. It could be past life, it could be galactic, it could be parallel lifetimes,
Wow.
or it could just be, within the physical.
Yeah.
So as a practitioner,
And
um, as a teacher, we teach our students how to see all of that and to
wow.
fine tune their abilities. So some people may say, well, I only see things or I only feel things. So as a light activation teacher, we would say, yes, you see things, yes, you can feel things, but we will teach you how to use all of your senses simultaneously so that you know how to use all of that at any given time, whether you're doing healings or whether you're doing something intuitively.
So you can you do that just so like you could teach me how to do that? Can you do that for like or I mean as long as someone's like open or do they have to have like certain prior
No,
qualifications?
we always say it doesn't matter if you're a beginner or advanced in terms of, like, maybe you're a Reiki master teacher or maybe
Hmm.
you were in pranic healing or whatever.
Hmm.
We always let our students know light activation is unique. It's not comparable to any other modality because it stands alone, and it is unique in itself, and there's no comparison to what's out there. Um, it doesn't matter if you are just beginner, like what I said, because we teach you how to open up your senses and to really stretch um, your line of sight, like really expansion and ascension. Because when you ascend, which is what we also help you do, it helps you expand or helps you see further.
And can you do that? Do you have to be with the physical body or can you do it remotely?
Well, when we teach our beginning levels, we always teach in person,
Hmm.
because when we teach, we really want to make sure our students are doing the steps correctly. And so me and Cindy, and we used to have I Ozawa
Right.
teach along with us. So when we teach, our healing team, they are like right behind us, so to speak, really making sure every single detail is according to what they had taught us.
Yep.
So if we kind of stray a little bit,
Yep.
they will, like,
Reel you
reprimand
in.
us like, hey,
Yeah.
And even when we teach, um, they keep us in line. Like if I'm trying to clown around, they will say, no, do not do that. I mean, not that I will, but
Right.
they will, they are really serious about, the teachings and making sure it's taught correctly. So yeah, in the beginning levels, level one, two, and three, level three includes the DNA, learning about the DNA. We like to teach that in person.
Yeah.
The advanced levels, it blows everyone's mind away. It's, well, the students, because they learn the magic behind that. Like, wow, every person that goes into the mastery level, when especially after the beginning level, I mean, it's a lot in itself, but then
Yeah.
when you get to the mastery level, it,
Yeah.
it's like, what? Like, whoa. And then even beyond the mastery level, we have the mystery school level.
Wow. I don't know if I want to touch
And one of them,
that.
I know we just went deep, right? And one of
Yeah.
them even involves the intergalactic student exchange, or yeah, exchange student, something like that.
Now, can you do actual healings on remotely? Do you do healings or do you just do the teaching?
I do healings as well. hmm Uh, a few years ago, I had a center I was working out of, but then we had the pandemic, and
Mm-hmm.
then that center I worked out of, they closed.
Yeah.
But then again, even before it closed, I, I'm able, and this is what we teach our students, how to do healings remotely or long distance, and how
Okay.
to do it if you're in person.
Yeah.
So we teach them how to do both. And we teach them how to do a healing even when there's a lot of chaos around you, for example.
Yeah, that's important.
Really
Yeah.
keeping focus. And you are kind of in a bubble of when you are in healing mode, you are just in a different dimension.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Cindy and I, along with the rest of the students back then, we used to do expos, healing expos, or
Yeah. I remember seeing
psychic
pictures.
expos,
Yeah.
holistic expos.
Yeah.
So with expos, there's a lot of activity going on. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot
Yeah,
of,
sure.
um, but we teach our students,
To block it
and I
out.
just mentioned it, how to be in your, you know, um,
Hmm.
zone.
Yeah.
And you are, because everything around you just, it doesn't matter. It could be the loudest music playing. When you're in the light activation healing zone, you're so focused.
So, Homer, if anyone's interested in the light activation healings and teachings, um, or anything else that we've spoken about, because we have to end this now. I think that like this people's minds are going to be blown, and we're going to have to do like another episode. And I'd love to get Cindy on an episode too, where we've mentioned her. So I'm going to reach out to Cindy. But if people are interested in learning more about you, can I have them contact me and get their information? And put them in touch.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
that we you can, see what's going on and if it's a fit or if it's something that you can help with or is that something that is good to do for
Yeah.
now like to because
Mhm.
I want to I don't I that we haven't even touched on half the stuff that you do and that I want to talk to you about but I want to end with the
And
healing.
even if they have any questions
Any
that
questions?
I
Yeah,
may have brought up, that maybe, hey, I have a question on that,
sure.
just
Email
email or
me.
contact him, and
Yeah. And I'll put him in touch with you. I'll get the questions over to you or yeah,
yeah.
any
Mhm.
inquiries or anything like that.
And
I'll
I'll
get
do
it.
my best to answer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. I love you. I'm so glad
I
you
love
did
you
this with
too.
me.
Yeah.
Yay. And I
You're
can't
always
wait.
my
I mean,
galactic sister.
I know. I know. You are, we totally are, obviously. You're serious. I'm serious B, whatever. We're cousins. I mean, duh.
We are. Yeah. True.
So we will pick this up. I have a list of stuff like that we haven't even talked about yet. I mean, the trips that we've been on. I mean, there's a lot.
Mhm.
So get ready, brother. Get ready, people. We
Put
got
on your
more where this
seatbelts.
came from. Get
Yeah.
ready to get your mind blown even more. All right. I really
Okay.
appreciate you doing this with me, Homer. Like, I
Oh,
love
yeah.
you.
Thank
I can't wait
you.
to see you again in person. Soon we're going to Peru and Tibet.
Uh-huh.
And I will get this information out to the people. I'm gonna give my information so that they can get in touch with you. I'll put it in the show notes, and I'll send you this information as well as soon as I upload it. It'll probably be out in a couple weeks.
Okay.
So by the
Thank you,
time you
Kim.
listen to it, I think Thanksgiving will be over.
I feel blessed and honored that you would ask me to be
Aw,
on your podcast. So thank you so much.
I'm blessed and
I'm
honored just
very
to know you
touched.
and have you. Like, but happy Thanksgiving because this will probably be out
Thank
after
you.
Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving, and I love you.
Love you too.
All right, I'll talk to you
Okay, bye,
soon.
everyone.
Bye,
Okay.
everybody.